What is good, family? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Look at this plant, just chilling. So, today I want to talk about connecting with your higher self in like a quick and easy way that I learned how to do it. So, one way that you could like quickly connect with your higher self in like a minute or two is to observe your thoughts. So, there's a certain level of consciousness, like elevation that you take when you stop associating with your thoughts or you stop being your thoughts. So, how let me explain like a little better. So, if you are able to kind of take like a back seat and watch your thoughts come in your head and observe them, if you become the observer of your thoughts rather than being your thoughts, you take a next step of like consciousness and you become your higher self. So, rather than letting your thoughts control you and literally like being your thoughts, you're now able to observe them and watch them from another perspective to where you aren't associated with it. And once you start getting kind of good at that, you could start being able to trace back your thoughts, like seeing where they came from. So if I'm out here and I just get like a thought, let's say, oh, I should go like this way. I could sit back and watch it, so I'm like, "Okay, I just got this thought telling me where to go. Where did this thought come from?" And if like, now I could, like, be able to trace back thoughts, so I could be like, "Oh, that's my higher self telling me, like, a way to go, like, a way that will teach me something I'll find something on that path." But let's say so shortly after this after I learned how to do this, I started, like, smoking weed again, which after, like, a break I took, so I'd smoke weed and I'd just be chilling, and then out of nowhere, I'd be like, "Oh, cookie sounds good, ice cream sounds good," like, all these things that I know aren't healthy for me and that I wouldn't usually want. I started getting the thought some bird. I started getting the thought, I was like, "Oh, well, like, now they taste good, like, I should go get some, I should eat some," but I used that technique, so I sat back, observed, I was like, "Okay, I'm getting these thoughts telling me that I should eat this food that I know is not good for me and that I usually wouldn't want. So where is it coming from?" And I just kind of sit back and I trace it back and I'd be like, "Oh, these aren't even like my thoughts. Like these are thoughts being presented to me by this weed. Like this weed is now altering my thinking and presenting me these thoughts that I shouldn't even be having in the first place." And, it's like kind of like a surreal experience to have that, but it's like real nonetheless, like, because nothing's not real. Everything exists, but that's that's one thing that I noticed is like, oh, like I could trace where it's coming from, or let's say I'm just at my house and I'm just sitting, I'm like, oh, I should get out, like I should go to the beach, I should go take a hike, like that's my higher self telling me that I should just go out, be active, connect with the nature, raise my frequency like real quick. And like that's just a quick and easy way that I learned how to connect with your higher self is to observe your thoughts, be the observer rather than being your thoughts. And when you take that step as well, you learn how to experience life rather than getting caught up with everything. So how I think about it is like, I'm the soul that's in this body. This body is just my avatar. Like I keep saying, like this body is just an avatar for my soul to be in and to experience this world through. And so when I'm like in touch with my higher self, I'm like, okay, well, I'm just here to experience, observe, and like let go and learn in that order, like I'm here to just experience being out here with all these plants, observe these plants, see what I could learn from it, teach me, and like like attachment, like letting not letting attachment rule me, but that could be something else, like because yeah, that'll just be another topic that I'll talk about in another video or something. But I guess I'll just keep this one short. So yeah, if you want to connect with your higher self, quick way, observe your thoughts. Don't be your thoughts, be the observer of them. Be the observer of this life, of this world, rather than being in it. Because once you allow your thoughts to control you, you allow your power to be taken away. Once and if my bad, I'm just like stumbling, but you allow your power to be taken away, and once you start observing your thoughts and being able to trace them back, you have more control over them. And if you could control your thoughts, then you could have control. But if you can't control your thoughts, then your thoughts have control and they're controlling you. So learn how to observe your thoughts, and once you do that, learn how to control your thoughts. So if you if you see that you're starting to have negative thoughts, bad thoughts, you could catch yourself and be like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. So now I'm going to not do this. Now I'm going to make the conscious effort to make myself think positively. Like a good and easy way to do that is like be great, is just start practicing gratitude. If I'm starting to have negative thoughts, like, oh, this isn't going to work out. Oh, I shouldn't do this. This is going to be bad. I'm going to be injured. I'm going to be harmed. I'm like, whoa, like take a step back. Life is good. I'm good. I'm grateful for everything around me. I'm start naming everything that you're grateful for, and just like that, you take your power back. You don't let those thoughts control you. You don't let them throw you into a bad mental space, a bad mind space, because if you do, then you're just kind of doomed to have a bad day. Like that's another thing too. You can't really have a bad day if you could control the way that you think about that day. So let's say my shoes rip, or like, oh, I've had this happen, like where I'll like run into something and it just like rips my, like it ripped my favorite hoodie. But instead of be getting all mad, being like, oh, like my favorite hoodie's ruined, like my day's ruined, this sucks, like I'm like, take a step back, take a couple breaths, connect with my higher self, like, okay, it's just a hoodie. Number one, it's just a hoodie. Number two, I'm sure there was like a reason. And number three, I now know that I like could be more careful. Like I now learn this lesson that this thing will rip my hoodie if I get near it. And I've had that experience, so I could take away that, I could learn from it. I could take away that lesson. And you know, no matter what you experience, there's always a lesson to be taken out of it. And whatever you're experiencing right now is for you to learn from. So just try to find that lesson in it. That's why it's pretty important to control the way that you think, so you could control your life. Take control of your thoughts, take control of your life, because if you don't, your thoughts will control you. I'll just repeat that a couple times so you could get the message and you could keep that in mind next time. But I guess I'll just keep this one short. I think that's it. I already said that, but like for real, I guess I'll just keep this one short. So stay positive, stay highly vibrational, and spread peace and love and light. Catch some nature. Like this nature is beautiful. Till next time. Peace.